once again, we're here.
Yeah.
Doing the thing. We're here doing
back.
it. We're here.
Oh, why'd you do the intro like that?
I did it different. I switched it up a little bit.
They don't want to switch it up.
You got to keep people on their toes because if I'm like, it is a corporate, I'm not doing that. I'm just like, we're doing it again. Here we are.
No, people just want the same thing. They want comfort. That's what I realized. That it doesn't even matter what you say.
I
as
want
long
comfort
as you say
too.
it like
I
you
want
did.
comfort.
Yeah.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
keep
yeah.
saying it the same way, and they're like, "Oh, that's the feeling I
Okay,
want."
all right. Well,
Everything's the
okay,
same.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll go back to it. It is another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
See that she switched it up. That's like hi. No, I didn't. I liked it.
No, it's always Sam's. That's her character.
Okay, what if I give
Yeah.
it a blast?
Yeah, do the thing.
Okay, all right.
I'll do the thing. Well, I'll do it.
You scream, get to work.
What do we have to
I
plug?
roll my eyes.
I know something we have to plug because I'm going to tell you something. I woke up this morning in a panic because I know we've all forgotten about this. We have an Airbnb that we forgot about.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to that thing? Is it still running? Where is it?
Oh yeah.
Is it still in
Yeah.
Sanford? Or did
yeah.
we move it to the coast?
It still haunts Crystal because.
Oh, I was like, is it haunted?
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's haunted to try and get more people in there.
No, she has to think about it every day because make sure that the place is clean and the gift boxes are
there's
there.
a cleaning lady there. Come on.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
like-
but she has to send the code to the person once they check in. And
Can't you automate that?
I don't think it's completely automated.
Gotcha.
It doesn't run completely automated.
Right.
Airbnb makes it pretty easy.
Yeah.
But you still have to keep on top of it. If you don't, like someone's going to show up and be like, I'm here and the door's locked.
Help. Yeah, you don't want that.
And,
That's how you get the 1 stars.
I'm
That's how you-
surprised that hasn't happened, actually.
I think it's actually happened a few times, but it was early on, and that was mostly our listeners, and they're pretty cool.
They are cool. Yeah.
So, like, when things like that would happen, they were, like, giving us this amazing period of grace where we were able to, like, learn the inner workings, and by we, I mean Crystal. And then, by the time we
BDM turned our water on. He
Yeah.
got there, and the
He's
water
like,
was shut off
he's
because
like,
I forgot to pay it.
Yeah, I took a deuce and can't flush it. I'll go out there and turn the water off.
And then he just went and committed a federal crime and
Yeah.
turned it back on.
Yeah,
And
that's the kind of-
I like
love
that
us.
guy.
Those are the kind of listeners we bought. And see, the beauty of this was by the time that all of the listeners, or the ones that would be willing to rent such a dwelling, have been effed out, now we have regular patrons, and we're ready to go. Like, Crystal knows how to do it perfectly right, and we worked out all the kinks.
Yeah, but I don't know what we're doing it for.
No, we've never done that.
Because at this point,
We said at first it was for marketing.
but I don't know if that really does anything. Like I would guess
Yes.
that not one non-listener that stayed in our house has now become a listener.
Not even one?
I feel like they searched it
Not even one.
because it's not like there's a million shows, so you search it, you're like, oh, this is a show, but that doesn't make you want to listen to it. There's a million shows.
Yeah, but you're not an emotional person. Maybe the fact that a slightly more emotional person maybe might think it's cool to stay in that place and then listen to the show a little bit. For instance, if I went to a town and I stayed in a house and then somebody down the block said, hey, do you know that the house you're staying in was at one time owned by Maynard James Keenan from Tool?
Okay.
I would probably get in my car, fire up some Schism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's I can see that's a good analogy.
Not really. I mean,
problem-
we are the Tool of podcasts. Though.
The problem is
So long.
like
Tom never faces the stage, right? He's always got his back to the entire audience.
Yeah.
I'm back there running all the visuals.
Always
and they're
got
crazy.
his hands in some kind of weird scheme.
Yeah,
You're selling wine
Tom's
now.
always asking me to find digital images of semen that we can project up. It's got to be something gross and crazy. You know, I got to have do you have those autopsy videos ready to play?
But what are the chances that they keep listening if, even if they check this out, they're like, oh, this is a podcast, this is weird. They have their own Airbnb.
You're right.
And then
it won't hold their attention.
and then they start listening.
It would need to be TikTok.
Yeah,
It
it's
would
too
need to
long.
be-
They're
oh
like,
my God, yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I just need clips. I'm addicted to clips.
It would. Oh, you mean to tell me that the old funny black grandma that gave me 15 seconds of ha lived here? Oh, I love this place. You're right.
But
You're
yeah, you just all you do is want to scroll to the next clip. You can't listen to a 3-hour podcast.
I had no idea how quickly
time for that.
podcasts would turn into a dinosaur media form. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
it is
yeah.
old.
It's
Might as
fast,
well be
yeah.
Laserdisc at this point.
Yeah, you can't just keep scrolling 3-hour clips.
No. But if you could, we'd be the kings. I'll tell you that because we got the content.
God
Hey,
damn.
is there anything we need to plug before we start? Do we want to talk about? We got a couple things we want to talk about. We wanted to talk about sad lunches, or we can jump on top of this Alaskan Airlines thing. I mean,
Let's talk about both of them.
all right, let's hit them both because the Alaska Airlines thing. Do you want to start there?
Well,
yeah,
let me
go
plug
ahead.
the History Center Trick or Treat Safe Zone.
Got
That's
a lot
going
of
on
sleep last night. I apologize.
on the 28th, and if you're looking for a place to bring your kids that's super chill and safe,
Just
and you
call
get
it
some
what it
candy,
is. It's awesome. It's
and you get there's a bunch of different Halloween related things on each floor of the
Yeah.
History Center, like installations.
It will hold your child's interest.
Yeah.
And if you're a parent, and I know this sounds a little harsh, you are kind of looking for things that occupy their time, right? Like, you can't do it all the time. It'll drive you mad.
Well, especially small kids, because I remember when like Max and Tommy were like 4 and 5. Like they got so tired of walking from one
No,
property
it's
to the
too-
other.
It's too much.
They're on one street. They're done with it. I was like, rather just go to one building and
Yeah.
then have a bunch.
And
of
it's
stuff.
more than just candy.
Yeah,
like
no,
they
I
got
know.
puppets. You can make your own spooky face mask. There's a
Yeah.
dance party, photo opportunities,
they
boo
always-
bubbles.
Yeah, they always have things, and it's always in conjunction with the library. It's just great. They,
Yeah.
all those guys down there, Scotty, the team down there, they're just rad. So go check it out. Take your family and have a good time.
So tell me about this pilot that freaked out.
Okay, so from what
Daniel
I...
told me this morning, and you got goosebumps.
Yeah, I did
and
get
you started
goosebumps.
passing out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, we need to talk about this again.
Yeah, it started giving me that thing, Sam. Remember the pass out thing?
Yeah.
Because so Sam's going to have to look up all the real details. But for what I had heard, I'll give you one of those, is that on an Alaska Airlines flight that, you know how it's very commonplace to see, if you're traveling, you'll see like the occasional steward, you'll see the occasional pilot flying along with the plane. They're not necessarily working that day, but they'll get in the jump seat, either in the cockpit or on the back of the plane. I guess they get a free ride, and it's, they jump on the plane and they travel.
Yeah, if there's no regular seats, I think they'll normally just take a regular seat, and if all those seats are taken, they'll sit in a jump seat, sometimes in the cockpit, because they have jump seats there as well. Yeah.
They have like a one in the back. I saw I keep saying stewardess, but and then I switched it to steward, and then I was like, well, that sounds dumb.
Well, that's in a boat, I think.
Yeah. What do you call
Flight
it?
attendant.
Flight attendant. Whatever. The person, not the pilot, is back there.
Plane nurse.
Yeah, the plane nurse.
Yeah.
So
I like sweet cheeks.
What if it's a guy?
Yeah, sugar
Still
teas.
sweet cheeks?
Yeah,
Hey.
both cheeks.
They're not as pretty
Both
as they
cheeks.
not as pretty as they used
Yeah.
to be. Most of them sort of look like. I'm not even going to say. I'm
Come
going
on.
to make that joke. It was going to be bad. They're guaranteed. So, for instance, this guy's he's up in the they got this off-duty pilot. He's like, "Yep, I'm going to fly along. I'm in the jump seat." He gets in the cockpit. I guess he's sitting in the jump seat. The pilots are doing their thing. Passengers in the back. Everything's going normal. No big deal. And from what I had read, this guy just proceeded to stand up and tried to pull both of the fire extinguishers for each engine on the plane, which would, from what I read, make the engines turn off.
Yeah, they're jet engines. Yeah, because they use them for, like, if there's a fire.
Yeah, you'd flood them full of something, I guess.
It releases some
chemical,
sort of,
I'm guessing.
yeah, flame retardant.
Yeah, you can't say that.
Flame R word.
Thank you. And so, and then the pilot calmly, from what I read, and the assistant pilot, the first mate or whatever, I'm messing this all up. They capture him, right? And I'm guessing they just kneel on him and they handcuffed him to a chair, and then they got on they call in the tower and they're like,
Oh yeah, we got a guy here who seems to be relatively calm now. I think it's cool. We gotta land.
and they were like super calm about it. They didn't even tell anybody on the flight, and everybody on the flight didn't even know what was happening. No one knew. Everybody's back there drinking a Crown and Ginger, having some honey roasted nuts.
So, okay, a couple things.
I'll try and pull up the audio from TMZ. I know they got the audio.
So, I was trying to find a listener pilot that we could talk to. I met one over the weekend. He was on our flight back from Colorado to Orlando, and he actually flew the plane we were flying on, and he was doing the exact same thing. He was just going from one place to another
Sure.
and is just flying as a passenger. Which did make me feel safer. Like, he came back, he actually he bought his house from Crystal and Bart. And he recognized Crystal first, and then he's a listener.
Hey, Crystal.
And
Tried to get in your pants.
it did make me feel safer knowing that there's a pilot that
There's
flies.
a backup.
Yeah, like if someone,
course.
it's like, oh, this guy can do it. If the two pilots pass out or die,
I kind of always thought that secretly that they sort of did that sort of thing, like as a redundancy.
yeah, I
kinda
guess
system.
they'd have to die with the door open because if they didn't, there's no getting through that.
Yeah,
door.
you can't get through the door unless the,
And 9/11 stopped
yeah,
that.
I guess the pilot. There should be a way to automate it, like
No,
on the ground. There should be a way on the ground to
Oh, yeah.
automatically open the door.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Like, hey, I radio on the back, and they're like, we'll open it. We got it. I got it from here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
OnStar. Remember OnStar when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
lock yourself out?
Yeah,
You-
give your password.
Yeah, and then-
yeah. There should be
You get a soccer game, and then the lady would be like, "This is Beth from OnStar. Hello, Fat Dad. Do you need me to open your car?"
So I don't mean to give Daniel anxiety or anybody
Oh, this
else's
makes me want to
family.
pass out. Do you want to hear the audio first? It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. This is real audio from the detailed takedown attempt. Here we go.
Just give you a heads up. We've got the guy that tried to shut the engines down out of the cockpit, and he doesn't sound like he's causing any issue in the back right now. I think he's the dude. Other than that, we want law enforcement as soon as we get on the ground and park. The threat is now in the back of the airplane, so we're reduced on the threat level. We're going to check in with the flight attendants and make sure everything is running smoothly, but it seems like he settled down as soon as he, after one moment of going a little bit overboard, we put him back. So
That's a cool mother.
A little bit overboard.
A
He tried
little-
to kill the engines to
Yeah.
a plane.
I mean, you would say a man that I guess is up on 83 charges of murder went a little bit over. That's a cool mother effer, right? When he's
Is
like,
he getting charged with 83 counts
Yes,
of
he
attempted
is.
murder?
Yeah.
It seems like as of right now, he has 83, 83 charges of attempted murder because there were 85 people or 84 people on the plane.
I feel
I
like,
guess I don't count him, right?
okay, let's say everybody's like, all right, we're going to strap this guy down and everybody in the plane can come by and punch him in the face.
no, you gotta do
Right?
worse stuff than that. You
83 felony counts of attempted murder, 83 counts of reckless endangerment, and 1 count of endangering an aircraft.
That's great. So,
Wow,
okay.
wooey.
So do you,
Did he pull the fire extinguishers?
Yeah.
Is that what that was right? Okay,
Yeah.
so
did he actually do it?
Yes.
And then they just turned them back on?
I guess. It doesn't say what they did afterwards. It
What
just
if they're like,
says,
we might need that, you idiot?
The fire suppression system consists of a T-handle for each engine. When pulled, a valve in the wing closes to shut off fuel to the engine. After they are pulled, some residual fuel remains in the line. But that's what he did, yeah. And then they zip-tied his hands, and they said he just had a quick mental breakdown, and then he was completely
I'm
calm.
good. I'm good now.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
I'm-
like they said, there was a guy that was right near the cockpit. He had his headphones on. He said, "I slept through the whole thing. Didn't
Yeah.
even know anything happened."
I'm good now. Can I have a Sprite? I'm very parched.
See, this is what I don't and I can't even comprehend is the spontaneous, complete mental breakdown that is nothing like your normal personality or it's never happened to you before. You know when people talk about like people snapping
Yeah.
or having a mental breakdown?
I'm
and
probably
going
the
crazy?
closest in this room of doing that. And Tracy said something that was very interesting. Tracy said to me, "This is like you wanting to jump off the cruise, Tracy. I love you, but you're wrong. Me jumping off the cruise doesn't mean I want to get in the
And
main
kill
engine room and
everybody,
kill
yeah.
everybody.
Everyone
No,
down.
it has nothing to do with killing yourself either. This sounds like it had more to do with killing yourself or making a scene.
Well, okay.
Why would you
so-
want to do it that way?
It said he
dude?
had his most recent FAA medical examination last month.
And
He has a first-class medical certificate, the highest level of medical certificates awarded by the agency, which requires examinations every 6 months for pilots 40 and over.
But that's just I bet they don't do a lot of mental. They don't.
I
Press
bet
your
they
mental.
do.
No.
For pilots?
Yes.
No,
well,
I think
okay.
everything's loose now, man. I
Well-
used to think the government had their S together. I used to think the airlines had their S. I used to think everybody had their S together. Now, after owning my own small business, I understand that everybody out there is trying to do their best, and we're all bad at everything.
Well-
Everything is bad.
Obviously, whatever screening they're doing didn't catch this guy, or
His neighbor said he was a wonderful father, or is.
Like-
I guess you can still be a wonderful father and have 83 counts of
well,
murder.
I just can't understand the split-second mental breakdown that causes you to try to attempt to kill everybody on the plane
Sorry, I didn't
and
mean to
yourself and you know what I'm saying?
Like destroy everything.
Like they talk about like suicide being a spontaneous thought, and I get that. Like, you know, they talk to bridge jumpers after that survived, and they're like, as soon as I jumped off the bridge, I regretted it, and they never tried it again. They're like, and they regretted even attempting suicide. And from all accounts, and from what I heard about suicide, is like people spontaneously have the idea, do it, and then the ones that live through it, a lot of them don't do it again, which is odd to me. You know, it's like it's just a spontaneous thought that you have, and then you act on it. So, but with this, it seems more rare, right? I mean, okay, going back to
Maybe he didn't want to fly anymore.
Remember that German pilot that took the plane down into the mountains? He locked himself inside the cockpit.
Oh, I thought that was in Asia somewhere.
It may have been. I thought it was a German pilot.
I thought that was a Chinese aircraft or something.
Thinking of the Malaysian flight?
Yeah.
That's different.
No. There was a pilot that flew the plane into the mountains, and then after that they changed the protocol where a pilot can't be in the cockpit by himself.
Right.
And I talked to my sister-in-law, and she's a flight attendant, and anytime like a co-pilot or the regular pilot has to use the restroom.
Yeah, German wings.
Okay.
9525. Yeah, I remember that.
So then now the stewardess or this now I'm doing the
that
flight
was
attendant
2015.
have to like be in the cockpit, so the pilot can't be in there by himself. Like that was the incident that caused this. Although I do ask her, I'm like, well, have they trained you what to do if the pilot goes crazy and starts trying to crash a plane?
This guy did a great job.
Absolutely not. Like,
I mean, this guy though, like I don't still fully understand what happened. It sounds like did the pilot subdue him and zip tie him, or did someone else in the back of the plane?
Well, they grabbed him, and I think they brought him to the ground and subdued him.
So
and then
they
probably
carried him to
called.
the back.
They probably called in, like some passengers to grab him and then drag him to the back. And
we got any thugsters on here?
Also, another thing that a lot of people don't know about, they keep handcuffs on the plane. And a lot of people don't realize that like the flight crew has handcuffs to use in case they need to cuff someone.
I like a handcuff to drink my whiskey out of.
I like the zip tie better than the handcuff. I've seen too many movies where the handcuffs get loose. Do the zip ties.
Yeah.
So
because you can pick a handcuff too.
Yeah.
If you try and get out of the zip ties, they just get tighter.
Yeah, they just hurt.
So is there an argument to be made? Like, let's say if I was this guy's lawyer, because he was a pilot himself, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
44 years old.
He must have known that just pulling the extinguishers for the engines is not going to bring the plane down. It obviously didn't. Like, they were able to turn the engines back on. Also, you could glide.
I think he was trying to dump the fuel, right?
I don't know. I thought he was trying to turn the engines off.
I think from what I'm piecing together,
which would shut the engines down.
Yeah, he wanted to incapacitate the engines. He wasn't trying to just like, hey, I'm just being old tomfoolery up here.
No, I know he was trying to do that. But what I was saying is, didn't he know that even if he did incapacitate engines, that they would take him out of there and then turn the engines back on?
I think in order to get the world back, we're going to have to stop with the BS legal arguments. No, the guy's an attempted murderer and shoot him. You got to blow his head off.
No,
just get rid of him. He's done. He's a bad person.
Wouldn't he know that, okay, whatever I do, and that's what I wanted to ask a pilot about, like, there's not one thing I feel like you could do that's irreversible.
Right, like the one, it's like when you push that button, the wings fall off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I got you. I got what you're saying.
There's no button that you press and then it's like turns everything off. It can't be turned back on.
Yeah, the irreversible button should not be on the plane is your argument.
Well, it's like the joke that I always make about like there's one button that opens up all the cells to the insane asylum or whatever. It's like, well, why do they even make that?
Just put in 60 switches. It's fine.
Yeah. Make it a more complicated process.
I agree.
So I just feel like, is there something someone could do in 5 seconds of buttons that would cause the plane to go down, or can they reverse it if the pilot knows what he's doing?
There's got to,
it's like even if you hit every button and they tackled you, I feel like you would just reverse everything the guy did and then be fine, right?
How did that go? Was it one of those things? I mean, talk about awkward. Did the guy stand up and you're flying along because the thing's on autopilot, right? You're cruising along.
Like, hey, what are you?
And then the guy stands up and and the guy's, hey, what are you doing? God, like you're wrestling.
Well, it seems like if they could not subdue him, let's say he was going crazy and there just wasn't like, enough people to like handle him, it looks like it would have shut the engines down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If there, I guess.
It says their quick reaction of the crew to reset the T handles ensured the engine power was not lost.
I wonder if it was like
they could glide for a while. I mean, even if you shut off all power, that thing will glide for 15 minutes. No problem. Like,
I mean, I'd like to say that, but I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know how planes work.
I don't. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, I definitely don't know that.
For sure, there's been a flight that was, I believe, from like
I've
New
heard
York
of it,
to
yes.
Paris or whatever.
Yeah.
And
where they're
plane,
able to coast in.
The plane, both engines failed, and they were able to coast into a small island near Europe.
So what happens with this guy? That's the stuff I find fascinating. Are the people that do these type of things, and then he's only 44, right?
Yeah.
So he's no longer a pilot now. How do you reclaim? You're a dad. You're married. I mean, this is...
Well, he's going to jail for a long time.
This has ruined your life, right? I mean, this is it.
Yeah. It's ruined your life.
Yeah.
And
your wife
crazy
probably divorces you. Your kid thinks my dad's a really strange and horrible person.
How did you have a breakdown like that when you've been a career pilot? You've had no prior...
Again,
psychotic
this is a
episodes.
different type
Do you have
of
a brain
breakdown,
tumor?
A breakdown or having something be too much is different, right? Like, I think we all know, maybe not you, and I'm not even being disrespectful when I say that, but we all know that feeling when things become too much and we either cry or we have to walk away or
anxiety attack.
Yeah, an anxiety attack or hide in the bathroom, you splash water in your face, or like when I passed out 2 weeks ago, that sort of thing. We all know the break. This to me is different because this is I'm going to hurt everyone. Like, it's different. It's just different because it's not this is too much for me and I collapse or I lose mental capacity. This is got to do something bad.
Do you think in the future they probably will take like a lot of the pilot's control away with technology?
And here's right, that's what they're trying to do, and I ain't gonna let it stop. I ain't gonna let them do it.
Because as technology gets better and better, right? I imagine that at a certain point,
you're talking about my car now, aren't you?
No,
where it just flies itself.
Well, I imagine we're almost at the point where
nobody in the cockpit.
Well, humans are creating more problems than they're helping, right? So, like for every Sully that takes control and lands in a river, or like Denzel Washington, you get drunk, you fly upside down. No, I'm saying like he saved. Like if it wasn't for him, everybody dies, right? He's able to fly upside down drunk. And then save everybody's life. But then you have these cases and that Germany case and the stuff where people have like the Malaysian flight possibly they don't know, but the most popular theory is the pilot did it. And so you have all these humans that have these mental breakdowns that end up causing everybody to die, right? So then do you take, like at a certain point, the plane, if the plane is smart enough to know that the pilot is off course or purposely flying into the mountains or whatever, it takes control and will not let you do it. It'd be like your Tesla, you're trying to drive into a brick wall.
I mean, my car will do that now. Every car
slams
will do
on
that
the
now.
brakes.
I mean,
right?
Kia or Subaru. Remember the Subaru used to have it in your used to have it in your
the Forester.
Yeah, you had the Subaru.
Smart, correct. Crystal's Traverse does it now.
Yeah.
If you lean, it'll take the wheel and like auto adjust it if it feels like you're
called
drifting.
Jesus take the wheel.
Like it won't your Tesla won't let you drive into a brick wall, right? It'll slam on the brakes.
If I'm really driving it, like it will let me do it. Yeah, but like
I thought it would hit the brakes before you.
If it's
it.
autopilot, it will never do that. Like no, if it's autopilot, it won't even like get near a wall. Like if I'm backing it up remotely from my phone, if it's near anything, it's like I'm not doing this. It's like no, this is unsafe. You're not gonna mess around with it.
Yeah, it
I don't understand why they don't remotely control these from like if you're United, then you have a hub and all of your planes are monitored right by your hub. Why not have them be remotely with the capabilities to be remotely flown? I know that's also a liability in case somebody gets in there, but I'm just saying. And then that way, if something's going wrong in the flight, right, the pilots can say, we need to deal with this guy. We hit this button. I'm giving you guys control. Fly us home while we beat this guy up.
I think the majority of planes are already autopilot, and there's,
but is somebody else
so
remotely allowed to take control of it? And
the plane itself is the autopilot. But it seems like in the future there would probably be like pilots that are kind of just there for show and for backup in case the something fails, and just for the passengers, because I think at a certain point it becomes the passengers like their peace of mind, so they want to know that the stereotypical Captain Sully's up there in control, But
Well, this
it'll
guy
probably just be
actually-
actors in the future.
I was going to give you my hot take on this whole story. I mean, this guy actually makes me feel really good about flying. That guy was badass. The guy that he's like, we got a guy who went a little over the top here. No big
Yeah,
deal."
he even like diminished a little bit, like, went a little overboard. It's like, he tried to kill
He
him.
actually sounded like he
No.
felt bad for the guy. Like he
Yeah,
knew him.
he
Like,
did.
he's one too
Well-
many over here, this guy.
Well, the scary part is that other guy that tried to do that is a pilot
Right.
that was maybe going to fly the next day, right?
Right.
And then if he's the only pilot flying, I guess now with
man.
if he would have tried to do that, the co-pilot, I'm sure, would have tried to wrestle him. But now it's one-on-one,
Yeah.
and the door's locked.
How
You
many
know, like-
weeks do you get off?
What do you mean?
Okay, so this happens. You're Johnny Cool Pilot who said, he went a little over the top. You're the cool dude, right?
Yeah.
How many weeks do they give you off now?
I just request to work the same day or the next day, my same leg.
I don't think they put you back
No,
in.
I know they
I don't think
but
they
it-
do, right?
But just because I want to be brave, I would be like, I don't need time off. We subdued him.
Put me back in, coach.
Yeah, I'm like I'll get to work.
Yeah.
But
I bet you that guy's that way too. Because he sounded like it, didn't he? Didn't he sound like this is no big deal?
dude,
Like,
all pilots sound like that.
Yeah.
They put on their mic voice. That I've
I
heard.
love the mic voice.
I've heard that the pilots practice that, and then it's become like a cliche, but they all do it.
Me and Maisie practice it in the car. Like if I'm driving her to dance, I'll be like, all right, we're pulling up to your dance academy here on the right-hand side. If you look out the window, and I'm just going to decrease the speed here to about 2 miles an hour. You can go ahead and unbuckle. I do like a little bit of that,
Yeah. Also, I don't need to know the weather, where we're at, where we're landing.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
It's
It's like
on my
welcoming.
phone.
It's very welcoming.
No, but it's like first. It's
I haven't turned my phone on yet. It's still in
Yeah.
airplane mode.
What
What
are
are
you
you
doing,
doing?
man?
You're trying to bring the plane down.
Come on.
I've never.
My God,
turned
we got Alec Baldwin over here. Won't turn off his
Jesus
Wordle.
Christ.
Turn
You
your
don't-
Wordle off, sir.
you
Or what
don't-
was he playing? Words with Friends,
I
Alec
don't
Baldwin?
know.
Remember that? Alec Baldwin
No.
wouldn't turn off his Words with Friends?
I believe it, though.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not turning this off. I'm Alec Baldwin.
They don't
Then he
even.
went on to kill somebody.
Yeah, I did.
Dude, the last like 2 days ago when I was flying, I don't think they even tell you to turn your
Devices off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing of the past. At first, they
They
never.
did tell you to put it in airplane mode, though.
No, I don't think they did. They
Last
just,
time I was
You
on
know
a
what I
plane, they
want
did.
the ability to do? I want it to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to my phone, and then I want the ability to I want them to give me a bigger screen, and I want to be able to stream anything I have on my phone on a TV in front of me, on a bigger TV.
That when we were flying United this past time, and they didn't have any screens, but they just had a holder for your phone.
Yeah, I'm
And
fine
then-
with that.
And then so they give you free Wi-Fi, or like not unlimited to search the internet or whatever, but Wi-Fi enough to get on their entertainment system and then pick their movies
Yeah.
from there.
I'm cool
I
with
did
that.
that with my laptop.
And then you just put your phone,
Totally cool with
and then you just watch through your phone, and it makes way more sense than any TV.
It does. But I do want something that, like an iPad or my laptop or something, but give me the ability to stream something. How often do you think men or women are busted on flights looking at adult content on their phones or laptops?
Definitely happens.
I think the flight attendant will tell you. I should ask Alex about this.
I bet it. I wish we could talk to her about it.
But a lot of times they probably don't see it. Although there's like memes out there of like kids watching through the crack of they're like watching a rated R movie. Like you were allowed to choose. Like,
Yeah.
It's I've done this before.
I did
where
it on a cruise ship.
I'm
I got a
sitting
story.
next to a kid, and I forgot what movie I'm watching, but there's a sex scene. It's a rated R movie, and then I'm sitting there, and there's some like kid next
Drooling
to me.
next
Yeah.
to you.
And then, like, my screen is only a foot away from his screen, and I'm literally watching a
I
sex
know, it feels dirty,
scene,
right?
A rated R sex
Yeah.
scene.
You should cover it. Put your hand over it. Put a napkin over it, man.
Like, what do you do?
I remember my mom and dad, this was back when cruises were a little more special, especially Carnival Cruise Line. It wasn't like the party cruise line. This is back when cruises were like they had a little bit more pizzazz, it felt like, because they were relatively new. This is when Kathy Lee Gifford was doing the "If You Could See Me Now" out on the Fun Ship cruise commercials and stuff like that.
There's still a sprinkling of the Titanic romance.
You would still dress up to go to the captain's dinner. You didn't like show up in a tank top drunk.
Yeah. Before everything turned Walmart.
Yeah, everything is Walmart now. But I remember we went on the cruise. And I remember it was a captain's dinner. And before my mom and dad had gone to the captain's dinner, they're in the bathroom. We had a big room. They're in the bathroom getting ready. My dad's getting his tie and everything on. And I'm flipping through the channels. And one of the channels that I see, it comes on, it turned on like some movie that I remember seeing, like Emmanuel or Exotic Blue or something. It was a dirty ass movie. It was like on the cruise ship they had like Emmanuel. Like it was like, and I remember
some like adult content because there were all these sexual element of cruises.
Yeah,
where like you were like, oh well, once the kids go to bed, we'll watch Emmanuel.
Yeah, there was a topless deck. I mean, there was like it was like a little more. It was upscale. It was like rich
because you were out
party.
in international waters.
Yeah,
so there wasn't like it was like once you got 2 miles out, it's like gambling's 100%. Illegal. The only police force is the FBI, apparently.
Yeah, look at how free we are.
Like everybody here is from a different country.
So my dad and mom are getting ready, right? I still remember what I had. I had white pants, I had a pink shirt, and a Madras tie because my mom wanted it. Remember when you would dress like that? Like in the late 80s, everything was like pink shirts with like plaid ties and like really pastels. It was very Miami Vice. So anyway, we're getting ready for dinner. I remember I'd seen Emmanuel or whatever this like porno was. It was like softcore porn, but I remember it was this really hot girl with big jugs in a barrel, and she had one of those Cortesian like Beethoven wigs on, and she was like getting out of the barrel. And I remember these big mega jugs in the wig, and I remember flipping it to another channel real quick, and then I remember being like, "Oh, I'm sick," and I faked sick.
So you can stay.
I faked sick.
That's when you became a pervert.
That's when I became a pervert. I faked sick at the for the captain's dinner. And my mom's like, yeah, you can stay here because on a cruise, it's fine. She ordered me like some food and everything. You stay here and you could just watch cartoons. I didn't watch cartoons. I went right back to the old jugs in a barrel.
Jugs in a barrel.
You can look it up, Sam. It's on there. Jugs in a barrel. Yeah. And she had a white wig. And she looked like Beethoven with big jugs in a barrel.
Oh man. I wish they'd bring back like some sort of luxury flying, like the Concorde. Like my
Hooters Air. Remember Hooters Air?
Oh,
Hooters Air for a hot minute.
Oh, that's
look up Hooters
trashy.
Air.
I'm talking about
I think Hooters Air was like top tier.
Like some sort of supersonic flying that they serve you steak and like silverware.
Wasn't there a rumor that some British billionaire wanted to bring back the Concorde?
He wanted to bring back like supersonic flight
because it's like a staple of British engineering or something, right? That's a British plane, I think. That's they love the Concorde. Hey, it's a Concorde.
Yeah, the problem was I watched
expensive, right?
Well, expensive, but also it could only fly certain flight paths because it would break the sound barrier. So it caused a lot of like windows and like complaints of like
I don't care about your windows.
Well, it'd fly over and you hear sonic boom, and then people would bitch that the sonic boom and like 3 a.m. or whatever.
Ah, come on.
I know, yeah.
Put some earplugs in.
And then it would only like save an hour and 45 minutes.
But it's so cool.
And then it is
the
cool.
The coolest part of the Concorde, Sam. Are you familiar with the Concorde?
No, I'm looking it up now.
Sam, the coolest part of the Concorde is when it flies like it's pointing straight up with its ass dragging. It flies through the air like dragging its ass, right?
Well, because of, I guess...
It's got a tilty nose, right?
The nose was tilted, built like that, so that the pilots...
I have a Concorde nose.
They can see the, I guess, the landing when they land, because they'd have to land at such a angle that if the nose wasn't tilted down, they wouldn't be able to see, they'd be looking straight up.
Tilt the nose down so I can see.
And then I watched a documentary about how it crashed and all the things that happened, like, in succession.
It was like a perfect storm, right?
Yeah. It was like a total crazy mathematical anomaly where they put extra fuel in the fuel tanks because they were extra heavy, because apparently all these, this huge trip was going on a cruise, and they brought a bunch of luggage. So the plane was heavy, so there was zero air in the fuel tanks, which ended up causing a rupture when a piece of tire like jetted up and hit the bottom of the wing, which caused fuel to come out. Then not only that, once the fuel set on fire, the pilot turned off. Speaking of like the extinguisher thing, they turned off the wrong engine.
Yeah, they turned it off.
And
I
so,
remember
like,
reading that.
if any of these one things didn't happen and they turned off the right engine, like, it would have never crashed. And it was like all the dominoes.
It also
fell.
says they had like heating problems with the design, and
It would get hot.
yeah, like every surface and the windows and the panels were all like super hot.
Hauling ass.
Because they were flying supersonic
yeah,
speed.
you're literally ripping.
I think it was like, was it Mach 2 or something like that?
Radiation concerns,
Yeah. But
cabin pressure.
I'm never worried about radiation after I have a cell phone in my pocket. It's like we are radiated.
well,
man.
also
Like,
the sun.
Yeah.
The sun is the biggest cause of radiation.
the old droop nose, they call it.
yeah.
My wife is a horrible person because she just jumped in the Twitch chat long enough to drop a news story about a JetBlue flight that suddenly shifted its weight and then fell backwards on the tarmac.
What do you mean?
I guess
Like it crashed?
she sent me the story. Here, I'll put this on the TV so you can check it out. This is old Samantha Guthrie, I think, here from today.
JFK Airport Sunday night. A plane at the passenger gate, look at this, lost its balance and tipped back so
Oh,
far
Jesus.
its nose lifted into the air. JetBlue says it happened after passengers started deplaning from a flight that had just arrived from Barbados. Once the plane leveled out again,
What
passengers
is
were
happening
able
with
to
our
get off.
planes? A
Oh,
bunch of
man.
junk, a
Airport
bunch of
officials
sky
say there were no
junk.
reported
Hold on.
injuries.
I didn't even know that was possible.
I didn't either.
So, okay,
My
just to
wife is
explain,
the meanest person. And
Well,
I tell you,
this
she
is-
does this stuff all the time.
Well, this is not that scary. I mean, they're
Oh,
right.
no, it's not scary at all to think that these planes are built worse than my Tesla, which is pretty bad.
Well, they're.
Did you know that could happen? You're cool with this now? Knowing the planes are just floppy pieces of junk?
Well, I
Sky
didn't know they're
junk.
that
Sky
unbalanced.
junk.
Like,
Oh man.
maybe when
Thank
they're-
you,
Don't
Andrea.
overload
Yeah.
the different parts of the
you
plane.
Think, you don't think I'm going to be thinking about every chungus that gets on my plane when I get on there? Because
Well-
even at my fattest, I can't do a lot of damage.
Well, speaking of that, when we used to go to Eagle Airport, and you flew into Eagle with
That's
us,
the
right?
craziest thing I ever. That's the craziest flight I've ever done. But you guys told
It's-
me that I actually did it on a where the weather was really good, and I didn't get the crazy. You said the turn or whatever that that we did wasn't as bad.
I just told you that. It was funny. It was the same as I So,
Tell him what he needs to be told
Yeah,
to
yeah.
not freak out.
but in I remember taking off a couple different times from Eagle, and because it's a small airport in the middle of the mountains.
Do you know the airport we're talking about,
No.
Sam?
It's in Vail, and basically
little.
the plane has to kind of come down low and then fly between the mountains. At one point, you're flying, and the mountaintops are above you,
You're right.
And and then you land in a valley.
And you
And-
see the weird shadows.
So a couple
Yeah.
things that, like, I've been multiple times where they've come on. They're like, all right, well, any passengers, we'll give them a free flight, a free flight voucher, but we're overweight, so we need someone to get off. And then,
And then they
like,
drag that doctor out, beat him up on
No, no.
the way.
like,
That Asian guy.
We're just
oh,
sitting.
buddy.
I remember sitting there twice. This happened, sitting there, and then looking around to see who would volunteer. And they're like, "All right, no takers. All right, shut the door." and then I was like, "Whoa, hold on,
Hold
no
on, somebody get out.
yeah, it's like, well, are we too heavy or not? Why nothing
my
happened?
God,
That's
no
all you
thank
did is
you.
just ask politely and one stinky voucher. No one. I think they take off luggage to compensate with.
Right. Yeah, I think
they
But
do that
anyway, they didn't tell you that. They're like, all right, they were just like,
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
terrifying.
let's go.
I mean, like, I'm real harsh about it because that stuff scares me as a nervous flyer. I would like them to go, who's the heaviest person on the flight?
All right.
You're off.
Last
That's what I want.
last scary story, and I hope no
my
one's.
God.
Are we doing this because of Halloween? Why are we doing this?
Is
I don't know.
I think we did this last Halloween.
in that same flight, my brother-in-law Garrett was flying from Eagle too, and when he was walking, because you don't go through a regular like is it called gangway or
What,
whatever
are you
that.
trying to censor yourself?
No.
You're not allowed to say
No.
that anymore? The
No,
gangway?
is that-
Gangbang?
Well, the
It's called the Gypsy Way, I believe.
you have to walk on the actual tarmac and then get up with one of those.
I like that. That makes me feel like I'm
Yeah.
more important or like I'm an NFL player or something.
with one of those what I like to call Home Depot stairs on wheels.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Um,
those.
So he was getting on the plane and he noticed that one of the luggage compartments seemed to be like, when you like in a kitchen with the cabinets, the ones that like click open and then like you could like
There's a
click
little
them
gap,
close.
yeah.
And then so he could tell, like he thought he could tell, it was like one of them's open and not closed all the way. Like it's just like an inch open.
Sure.
And so he's like, oh, that's weird. So then he gets on the plane and he tells the flight attendant, he's like, hey, I noticed one of the luggage compartments was clicked open, like, and she's like, oh, don't worry, they'll close it. We'll let them know. And then they took off, and then they noticed, and he noticed.
The suitcase is falling out?
No, he just noticed all of a sudden, like, they weren't climbing as high as he thought they were. So they started flying through the mountains, right?
We got to drop all these suitcases all over the mountains.
Yeah.
Scatter them.
And then he's like, this is weird because I've taken off from this airport a lot, and usually we'd be higher by now. It seems like we're turning a lot and we're still low. And then the pilot's gonna be like, hey, we're gonna have to go back to Vail, whatever. And then no one said anything, but he was almost 100% convinced, like they couldn't pressurize the cabin because that door was open, and then they had to stay low. And I guess that they fly through the mountains and do like a U-turn and then land back on the airport.
Shut it and then get back up.
Yeah. And then he started to say, he's like, hey, was it the door? And then the
They're not gonna tell him.
was like, no, it's
Nah,
fine.
something else.
It was the door.
Son of a bitch. Oh, this is terrifying. Let's stop talking about
Nah,
this.
but they're fine. They got a lot of backup plans. Like this guy tries to grab the thing and they just hold him down.
I mean, he did sound really calm.
Yeah.
It sounded great.
Although, it makes me nervous that people freak out and
Oh, yeah.
attempt to do this.
Well, I mean, some would
Especially
say,
a professional that was a pilot, right?
Yeah,
That's terrifying.
some would say that it seems like that, and I don't think it's just post-pandemic, but I think that did happen. It did, accelerate things. It seems like people are a little more mental, and it seems like we're not really. I know that we all think it's nice to say that, hey, we got to take mental problems and mental health seriously, but nobody's doing anything more than they've normally done, right? It's not like anything has changed.
Although I've never admitted this, but sometimes I've been driving my boat before at full speed, like 50 miles an hour, like yeah, and then I'm driving, and then I look at the shore, like I'm down the river or whatever, or the intercoastal, and I'm like, what if I just veered off to the shore and then rammed?
That's called the James Bond.
This is why.
And then my,
Dukes of Hazzard.
and then everybody in the boat would fly out violently.
Turn down for
what?
And then the police would be like, "Why did you do this?" So then it'd be shivering underneath one of
You
those.
ruined your life. You'd be in jail.
And then it'd be like, "Why
And
did
then
I
you look over, this pilot would be there.
And then I would think, "Why did I do that? I just thought about it." Anyway,
Yeah.
all right, we'll be right back.
That was a funny segment. All right.
I got whole 40 minutes out of
Knock that out.
what else were we going to talk
Sad
about?
lunches.
Oh, yeah.
Where's this go?
Tuesday 1 and 2.
Do we have anything?
No.
Okay.
We can either do sad lunches. We got emails and voicemails.
Yeah, let's do sad lunches and then do some voicemails. Because I think a lot of people, I have a whole theory about eating lunch while looking at some pretty view will increase your quality of life by 0.5%.
Andrea used to do that all the time. She does now.
Tom Papa's coming to Dr. Phillips.
Old Tom Papa.
Old Tom Papa.
Why do I know Tom Papa? What was he most popular for? I know he does comedy.
Yeah, that's how I know him.
Does he do voices?
Probably. The Marriage Ref, The Informant.
The marriage
that?
ref. Dogs?
Was that dogs?
Sound like dogs to me. The marriage ref. I remember that. Wait, don't tell me. Okay.
Do you like dags?
Jamaican beef patty. Holy smokes. I haven't had a Jamaican beef patty in a very long time. Does it have raisins in it? Or currants? Don't they put currants or raisins in Jamaican beef patties, or can they? Or is that like, I think I'm mixing up my Caribbean or Latin beef flavors.
Yeah, you might be thinking arepas or something.
I like this too. Any type of pastry with a meat inside of it, I'm down for that. I like that better than pastries with sugar inside of them.
Yeah,
I like a meat pastry.
Oh yeah.
Like a meat pie? Hell yeah. Like I remember one of the monster cruises, we were on a bus. That's back when we went on the cruises with that big, remember the guy that took us to the crazy dance thing that I always talk about, where the Jamaican guys, the sweaty boys, were like doing poses standing on top of each other?
Oh yeah.
He also took us to this little shack, and then you went inside. It was like real Jamaican food. And there was this old Meemaw making Jamaican beef patties like from scratch.
Yeah.
Like all lard, all real beef patties. And I ate so many of them I got sick. It was so good.
Yeah. What's it?
Spicy as fuck.
Beef. There's like Jamaican beef patties. There's empanadas
Yeah.
that are essentially the same, right? I mean, I know the bread's different and like the meat inside is seasoned different, but it's a pastry with meat, right?
This will tie into it. We're doing sad lunches, right? You want to start?
Yeah.
Here we go. Sorry, I was keeping us off track. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. If you want tickets to the Orlando Solar Bears in the Tom and Dan section, which is section 118,
It's awesome.
you can get your tickets at tomanddan.com. Click on the link, and now you can choose your game. You can choose your seats. We'll be at multiple games this year, so the season has started, and if you haven't checked out an Orlando Solar Bears game, you're missing out because it's awesome.
It's the most exciting and best price ticket you'll find for a sporting event in this city, and I absolutely put a Dan Dennis guarantee on that, and I don't do those very often.
So someone in our chat room was talking about sad lunches. Were they eating a sad lunch listening to us?
Well, I always, like, when we come back, if you watch the live stream, because we stream every single day on Twitch and YouTube, just search Twitch at Tom and Dan Live. Same thing on YouTube at Tom and Dan Live. But I always go like, hey, what'd you guys eat? And people always throw different things up there. And sometimes they're sad. Sometimes they're, big. Sometimes they're great. But our buddy Ghost was just saying that he was in a tiny break room eating a tiny, sad dad lunch.
Yep. So, Sam, when you worked a corporate gig, where did you eat your lunch?
Depends on the job. Sometimes in the break room, sometimes in the stock room, and sometimes in my car.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like the car lunch.
Was there. Yeah, when the stalkers are there, you go eat in the car.
Yeah.
See,
I always thought people that ate in their car had something to hide.
Sometimes you just want to listen to your podcast
Yeah,
and not be
yeah.
bothered with other people
Yes.
that you work with.
But when I walk by, there's a couple of guys over here at the Publix that I walk by that bother me. One of them is the lady that sits in her car blasting her music. It's so loud. I didn't even know why it's so loud. It's usually like Olivia Rodrigo. Andrea does a very good Olivia Rodrigo impression that we have to get her to do on the show. She sings and it's fantastic. And then there's the little old Middle Eastern man here, the skinny guy.
He sleeps in his car.
He sleeps in his car.
I've seen him
but he
do that.
opens all the doors.
Yeah,
So it's hot as F in there, and he's just got the seat all the way back. Somebody could come in there and just murder him good. Right there.
No, he's in the Publix parking
No,
lot.
man,
We're worried about
laying in
murder.
my car. I can't go to sleep with all the
The
doors
last
open
thing-
without thinking somebody's going to start stabbing me.
I'm so mad when every single day I get in my truck and doors locked, and I'm like, I left this open on purpose. And Crystal, before she goes to bed, she locks both of our doors, and I'm like, I don't want to lock my door. I yell, and she's like, you have to lock. There's door checkers. I'm like, there's nothing in there, and she
They
screams.
didn't
in
get
her
your wallet one good time.
Yeah, but I'm like, I've learned my lesson. Quit
Did
locking.
you? You don't have your wallet today.
Holy.
Oh, God!
She was right.
You just barfed all over your jeans. That's crazy. I do like.
I
I do like. I love that he's making a point.
Just turned into Frankenstein's
About
monster.
he said, I've learned my lesson. And then we knew I had to give you my corporate card so
Yeah.
you could go get lunch. And then you had to text me because you're like, I can't run a credit. I got to run it. I need your passcode.
Oh my God, that happened.
By the way, I was backing up the line. It was a lunch rush, and I was standing there, and then there was like, "Do you want to continue your purchase?" And then I'm looking around. I'm like, "Yes."
Because he texted me, and then
I didn't know any of this.
he texted me. He goes, "I need your code," and then I was starting to text him back, but he did what my wife does. I was mad at you.
Panic.
He didn't give me enough time to text him back. He called me
Well, 'cause
as I was typing him back.
He didn't know if you saw it.
Yeah. I thought you were
Oh, I
sitting there,
saw it.
and then it went off,
I
and you
saw
were
it.
there.
I gave him
watching
5
TikTok.
Mississippis. I gave him 5 Mississippis.
So back to sad lunch.
Yeah,
So,
sad lunch.
So I remember in Champ Sports, the break room, if you want to call it that, was just a table with a microwave, and they had put the safety posters. Remember the ones
you
we
put it
bought?
on the table.
They put that like in the back of the table, and then there's like some old calendar from a different year, and then the microwave was disgusting.
Oh,
No
yeah.
one cleaned it,
Yeah.
and like everybody there is disgusting.
That
animal.
little, the merry-go-round in there
Including
has
myself.
stopped working
Yeah,
because it's got so much mung.
And then there was a box of left shoes that were the display shoes that like everybody was supposed to at the end of the night like start to try to find the pair to put back.
Yeah.
No one ever did it,
Mhm.
so the box was just piled, spilling out. And then there was a tiny like 3x3 area on the like brown folding table that people would sit and eat their lunch at. But you'd sit in the chair and you stare at the wall because the table was pushed up against the wall.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So the only space you
It's
had,
like you're in detention.
yeah, it was like 2 feet and then the wall and then the posters and the microwave, and you just sit there and you stare at the wall and eat. And there was a radio there, and I used to go to Charlie's
Oh, man,
Steakhouse.
that's No,
every
you used to go
single
to
day.
Charlie's cheesesteak.
Oh, cheesesteak.
If you
Yeah,
went
you
to
used to get-
Charlie's
you used to get
Steakhouse every
free
day.
sandwiches from my
Sorry.
brother.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
Charlie's.
that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
Wait a minute, I don't know this story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about this. Every day I
You
go
would
to
go
Charlie's,
steal Charlie's-
cheesesteaks.
From Sam's brother?
Yeah.
No, well, he listened to the radio,
Yeah.
so I'd go there, I'd
Hey,
get the
drunkie!
buffalo chicken, yeah, and then he'd hook me up because
Hell yeah.
I'd go there every single day for my lunch.
Oh man,
Which is
Charlie's
no
is
wonder
good,
I
too.
was 220
Hey,
at one
well,
point.
Charlie's is good though, dude.
No, I know
I
it's good.
like the
Yeah.
Charlie's.
The seasoned fries,
Yeah.
and he put extra seasoning on
Yeah,
it because
fresh
he knew
cut.
I like it.
Hand cut fries.
And Sam's brother would hook me up every day.
Yeah.
He probably gave
Charlie's.
me hundreds and hundreds of dollars of free.
He's like, hey, hire my sister eventually.
Yeah, it worked
It
out.
worked.
It worked
He
out.
did it. It's because of him.
That's the old
It's
cheesesteak.
the only way I got this job.
Yep.
But,
That's what he says. That's what he says, right?
Probably.
But then I'm looking like I should have found like some retention pond or some like
That's what Andrea does.
some
when Andrea
nature
had
to
her
look
job
at.
Spectrum, she would pack her. My wife always packs her lunch. By the way, I'm on my second day of packing my lunch.
Oh.
Today, I was going to scoop some chili. Andrea said, no, I'll scoop it for you because, I'm doing other things. And then it was 2.5, 3 pounds of chili. It was so much chili.
That was a lot of chili.
It was a lot of chili. I couldn't finish it. It's a real
Smelled good, though.
real gut buster. Yeah, it was good. It was really good. But second day of bringing my lunch. Let's hope for a third, right? Let's hope for a third.
We had a lady at Macy's that would eat her lunch in the stock room and then brush her teeth and spit in the trash can
Oh, wow.
every day.
She
Yeah.
just dry brush?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people do
Oh no,
that.
she had like a water bottle,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
So
okay.
she would but just spit right in the trash
Andrea
can.
would go to a pond by her
Disgusting.
work, and she'd bring her food out there, and then she'd bring like a book or like have an audiobook on her phone.
Yeah.
And she does that. She's one of those people, and I hate those people. The people that are like, I was like, how's your lunch? It was really nice. I sat out by the retention pond, and the gator, Andrea, the gator came up, and the ducks were there. Oh, it was a great Tuesday. I'm like,
Now,
F you.
Now here, but like there is, I imagine because eating the sad break room lunch, staring at a wall in front of you in the back dimly lit storage room or whatever you're
Yeah.
at, it seems like every day that would like somehow micro diminish your quality of life,
But it
right?
goes
And then like
against-
all you need to do is go outside to the
Get some
retention
vitamin
pond.
D,
yeah,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
maybe that small percentage of like sunlight and nature would increase the quality of your life over a decade
But
of time,
do you
right?
want your lunch to be better than your work? I think you want your lunch to be less fun than your work,
Okay,
so
all
you're
right.
looking forward to getting your job done, not wanting to stay at lunch the whole time.
You bring up a good point. That's a good argument because you're out by the retention pond listening to the birds.
you want to
got your
stay out
gator.
there.
Yeah, you're like,
You're
then
a
you're
get to
mad.
work guy.
Although you do get to smoke, you're already outside.
Yeah.
But
Or vape.
yeah, but then you ruin your smoke. But like I remember every time I'd take out the trash, me and Will, the other stockroom guy, we'd
We should have a
rock paper scissors.
We should get everybody you used to work with back together.
The old
Get
crew.
the whole crew. Where's Vince Taylor? Where have we? Will he reply to us anymore? Did we make him mad?
Hey, he hasn't emailed me in a while.
Okay, well,
I guess I should reach
We'll
out.
reach out to him.
I'm one of his best friends, so I'll text him.
text him. Text him.
But so
You ever have your lunch stolen out of the break room?
Oh yeah, that Clear Channel. Yeah, I did.
well, I'd go to Charlie's every day.
That's right. That's right.
No stealing.
Got your free Charlies every day.
That sounds amazing.
Like I would never have the forethought to make my lunch, just like this job.
It's so hard, dude.
Yeah,
it's
you've
so
never brought
hard.
your lunch
Yeah.
home.
I've done it 2 days. The first day, I tried to emulate, Sideward Brewery or
Yep.
Sideward Brewing. They have a really good chicken Caesar salad wrap that I had. I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna make a chicken Caesar salad wrap. Super easy to do. And I made one for yesterday. It was so dry and garbagey by the time I ate it. I was like, this sucks. And then I brought the chili today, and I was like, that sucks too. I hate bringing lunch, man. I hate leftovers. Sucks.
I don't like preparing food for a time where
That's not right now.
Yes.
Like I don't like preparing food
Yeah.
for a future hungry
Future food.
Tom.
I don't like future food.
Like I want to prepare food and eat it now.
Yeah.
And preparing it for the future, I get no
Kicks.
There's no dopamine drop in my brain
Yeah.
because I don't get to enjoy it.
I'm making a chicken Caesar salad sub while I'm thinking about breakfast or trying to eat my breakfast. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I got an English muffin in the toaster that I'm going to put some peanut butter on, right, with my coffee. But then I'm trying to make a chicken Caesar salad wrap, and it's just not computing.
Yeah.
Then I get the Caesar dressing on my fingers. I lick it. Then I taste the Caesar dressing. Now I got garlic in my mouth. That's not good with peanut butter. The whole day was ruined. Just ruined.
So speaking of eating lunch in like a beautiful scenario or nature,
Should we be eating out in the lobby?
I don't know. I was just
Or
thinking
should
that
we be eating in the office?
I mean, we
Say-
can walk over here. There's like a whole park over here.
I'm thinking like every
we
day
start
we all
walking?
have sad lunches at our own desks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With nuts.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't say a word to each other.
I
Like,
eat mine on the toilet.
Sam's eating at her desk like fast. I'm eating at my
Playing
desk.
sad Tim Berry music.
Yeah. And that's it. Like we're not doing it right. There's a lake right over here. Let's go to the lake and eat our lunch by the lake.
Yeah, but you know what that's going to lead to?
What?
Cable guy lunch. Because we're going to go to the lake. While walking to the lake, we're going to see a Gators Dockside, premium bar action.
Okay, yeah.
One of these days, we're going to say, we're going to upgrade. We're going to say, you know what?
Every day go out for lunch.
The lake doesn't cut it anymore. Let's do 20 wings, 5 beer lunch.
Yeah.
You know, let's do cable guy lunch.
And then we fool ourselves and be like, we'll go back tomorrow. And then every day we're alcoholics.
Yeah.
There you go.
Back to 220.
Yeah. You'll get there fast.
Yeah. Oh, man, real fast.
The
Really
5
fast.
beers, 20 wing lunch
Every day.
Every day.
Dude,
Better life.
That's like 3,800 calories for one meal.
Dude,
At least.
like all the guys, like the yard guys, the blue collar guys that eat at Wing House for lunch every day. Like I'm
Protein.
jealous of those
Protein
guys.
and fat. Yeah, they're good.
but I'm saying like every day you get to sit down at Wing
Yeah.
House and then
Yeah.
you get served by. What if it's lingerie day? Imagine how happy you are.
Man, lingerie day.
And you're eating hot wings, and I mean,
Ice
you're having
cold
a,
beer.
Yeah, ice cold beer for lunch.
Wing
Oh,
House.
man.
I meant to write this down as a topic or just an aside. Wing House changed their slogan finally. It's not need we say more. Remember that?
Yeah.
I believe their new one is something to the effect of lunch done right, but beautifully delivered or beautifully served or something like. It's like our food is good and our servers are pretty. Like I think it's like that.
It's good food, beautifully served.
Yeah, good food,
Okay,
beautifully served. I don't
That's
like it.
lame.
I like, need we say more? Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you I'm
Yeah.
horny. You know, like, there's no horny.
Yeah, I need you to say more.
Yeah, I need
Say
more.
you're horny.
More. I need more. I need horny, more horny. It doesn't work the
I
same
do
way.
need more.
Yeah, it doesn't work the same way for me, right? Like, do you think they're trying to go, are there any girls on their website anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I keep my thumb on all of these misogynistic wing places because I'm a
$2
proponent.
Tuesdays crowning down.
Crowning down.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
$5 Big Daddies.
Yeah, all the-
Hey.
I used to get in trouble with the Big Daddies. But no Big Daddies. I would not be married to Andrea Dennis. I would not be married to my wife if there were no such thing as Big Daddies.
I would like to live the life where I go on a regular Tuesday to Gators or Wake and then order the novelty Bud Light that
it's called the Granddaddy.
The Granddaddy.
It's called the Granddaddy.
Granddaddy.
You've never seen the Granddaddy?
No.
Sam, it is a Bud Light dispenser that's 3.5 feet tall. It has a little blue tap on the bottom, and it's like chilled. And then they fill it with, I think, 3 or 4 gallons of beer.
And it's they put it on your table.
And they put it on your table.
Yeah. Do they have like a presentation where they come out and clap?
No. It's just 2 girls. They come out, they put it down. Here's your granddaddy, sir. Here's your with me. They go, here's your granddaddy.
And then you're just having 3 gallons of Bud Light.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you get down to the last hot gallon,
it doesn't come out. You got to tip it. You got to get somebody to tip it forward, because it's not coming out.
Just give me a small cup. I'll go there and dip it in there. But when we were, I think the second day we're on our vacation, or third day, when we went to the Canyonlands National Park, we decided that part of the day we were going to pick a beautiful place to eat lunch. So we went to this one, I forgot what the hill or mountain area was called.
Yeah.
But on it was like ancient Native American pantries that were built into the side of the mountain.
Wow.
Right? They used the side of the mountain as like a food pantry because it always stayed cold. So there was like...
That's smart.
Like there was in the side, there were like cliffs that were natural, and they built like brick areas to like hold
That's
it in.
amazing.
Anyway, so we went down and we were standing on the cliffs looking at those, and then we're like, let's keep going and see if there's like a cliff without, because you're not allowed to like go in there and touch the artifacts or whatever. Which at first I was like, let's eat in the Indian pantry.
Yeah, I would too.
Native American.
Sorry, I got carried away too.
So we went further down and we found like essentially another cliff area that was built into the side of the mountain, and we ate our lunch there.
That wasn't the pantry. Though. That was where they poo-pooed. That was the bathroom.
And it was awesome. We were just sitting there, and it was cold because like we're inside of a mountain basically, and then just looking off in the vast expanse. And I was like, well, this was free to do. And it's just like we brought our lunch, and now we're just sitting there and like having an amazing lunch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, more people should do this. Find a place to have an amazing lunch.
Are you guys outside eating people?
Normally, I'm not.
I'm always. You can ask Andrea. Every time we go to any restaurant,
whether like inside or outside.
patio seating, I'm always patio seating.
It's
man.
also hot though.
I know. I like it hot though.
Yeah,
if they have a fan, I don't know. There's something about sitting outside to me that I really, really, really love. Like, I love eating outside.
It does add to the eating experience.
It's better for conversation because, like, inside they usually have something going on. And I can't talk to my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And plus, why not be outside? Like,
I'm never outside, so I take as much
every Florida.
Time. Yeah, like we went to that Anajitos Mexican restaurant. Maisie wanted to try it over here, and like they had like a little patio. I was like, we'll take the patio, man. I love patio eating. All right, let me load up some voicemail messages.
All right.
Because these pile up now and again. And if you want to leave us one, it's never been easier. We have a brand new app. And,
2 more things about the break room.
Yes.
First, Sam.
Yeah.
So I imagine when you, like, did you ever have, like, any coworkers that would see you eating and then like, take their break and then do the old small talk lunch? Because that's
I'm real
the
bad
worst.
about that. I try to leave you guys alone now. I don't even talk to Sam. As soon as I hear the China going in there, I'm like, turn it off. Turn it off.
China.
Like when I hear your glass or whatever, or I hear the microwave beep, I'm like, you shut the hell up.
Well, because I remember, like...
she wants her time.
When I was in Champs, like, there would be the occasional employee that, while I was eating, he'd, like, take the opportunity to sit down and just, like, small talk BS with me.
Vince wanted to be your best friend.
Not Vince. No, Vince worked with me, so
you know
we
this is
knew.
going to get back to Vince. Right.
But it would be, like, some, upfront employee that would... I'm going to be like, hey, dude, I only get 10 minutes. So you get a half an hour. Like, I need to eat my Charlies.
Have you ever said that to anybody?
What?
Hey, dude.
Has anybody ever
No,
been
I just sit there
bothering
and
you?
take it.
Yeah, I was like,
Take
have you
it.
ever turned to him and been like, hey, man,
No.
I'm sorry, but get the hell out of here.
No,
You've never given him the Schwentzes?
Extra polite the whole time. If they say, am I bothering you? I can leave. I say,
No,
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 please
You
stay.
know what?
You know
what?
I hate them.
This
I
year,
wish. Not only
I hate you.
I've never heard him say something that direct.
I wish the whole place was set on fire. Like anything, but
I wish,
was
I wish
happening.
I was Great White
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
I was like
Make me
choke
a
and
bird.
die. Yeah. But I would
This
just
is
be
your
like,
year.
no.
This is your year,
I'm like,
dude.
please tell me some boring story that I've heard before.
This is your year. Moving into 2025, we are going to get you to tell one person that's annoying you to get the hell away from you. I can't wait.
So when Crystal worked for a trucking company, do you remember this?
Yes, I do. Was that over near the Florida Mall?
Yes, yeah.
I remember that.
It was like Dunder Mifflin in the fact that she and like her coworkers worked in cubicles like up front in the office.
Yeah.
But the whole back was a warehouse and they like a
Didn't
trucking
she have
company.
a big chungus that fell in love with her?
God,
And he started like leaving gifts on her chair or something?
what was that? That was a different.
Should I not be talking about that?
No,
I think there was a chungus stalker that was leaving gifts on Crystal's chair.
It happens.
I remember they called her the bird lady for a while. I told the story where like she complained because she was like, someone threw their lunch on my windshield. Like,
Oh.
and they're like, what? And like she's like, yeah, I went to leave work, and then there was like someone's mayonnaise and mustard hot dog thrown on my windshield.
splattered on
Oh,
the
you got
window,
you got hot dogs.
Yeah, you got dog.
And then like the boss was like, oh, so they went and they all
Check the cameras.
They did an
Check the cameras.
investigation.
Yes.
They did an investigation
And
like
so-
Dunder Mifflin.
Oh my god.
And so then the boss
Got
was
a
watching,
hot dog investigation.
and then they were fast forwarding it like to see if they see her car, and it's like black and white, it's like a stereotypical security camera, and they're fast. Like, and then they're like, oh, there it is, something happened, and they rewind it, and then they see a bird flying with a hot dog,
It splats
a
it all
full
over.
hot dog.
and then it had like it obviously picked it up
Trash.
from somewhere
It had the
else,
trash.
and then it landed on Crystal's hood, and then
What
it
are the odds?
It dropped it,
Yeah.
and then it was like eating it, and then it got spooked and flew away.
Yeah.
And then
it left it there.
And then they started calling her the bird lady, and then the boss was like, every time he
Oh
walked.
my gosh, she's being harassed.
Oh, I laughed and laughed. It's still my favorite memory. I still call her. Every once in a while, I'll walk by, she'll be eating lunch, and I'll do the bird. I'm like, ah! Oh, so good. Anyway, she would go. The break room was back in like the middle common area, but all the truckers that would eat their lunch in the break room as well.
Daryl and the warehouse
Yeah.
are all upstairs.
Yeah. And so, and then the truckers would like obviously have inappropriate conversations with each other. And
Dude,
Crystal,
people at like jobs, they will just overshare personal
I didn't-
information.
I didn't
like-
know. This is true. I did not know until this year inappropriate to say to a woman, kind of nipply out. I can't even keep it straight.
No, I mean people will talk about like their spouses cheating.
That's
or
a good one, right?
Getting pregnant by somebody else.
I'm pretty sure my dad died saying pretty nipply out to every woman he met.
because it's a passive aggressive way to say you notice a businesswoman's hard nipples.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you can cut glass with those things.
Nothing better than to reference a coworker's hard nipples in your break room in a childish way.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Voicemails. Yeah,
Kind of cold out there.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a nipply in here. Hey. All right, here we go. Voicemails.
What's up, T&D? Shart and Randy here. Tom, your trip to Dead Horse State Park, you really missed out on what that name meant. Crystal really would have loved supporting that place if she knew that Dead Horse Point, the bend in the river, is where the old-timey Duttons used to take their horses to sort out which ones they wanted to keep and breed and which ones they just wanted to leave for dead out there on the cliff. They just let them sit there and bake in the sun until they died. And we named a state park after it. Humans are awesome. Also, Tom, pay your bet. or I'll leave you out on Dead Horse Point.
Oh, get him, Randy.
What's the bet?
Your
Check the
Bear Suit.
gambling page.
I think, or we want
No,
you
you owe him
no,
money.
You're right. You owe him money about
for the Hamlin thing.
Damar Hamlin. But I still he hasn't played. He hasn't played.
Yeah, he's played a couple special teams plays.
No. He hasn't played. Randy knows what I mean.
What?
And everyone listening knows what I mean. That we're not doing a technicality on this. The guy's got to be a legitimate player. He's got to be.
That's not the bet that Tom made.
Yeah, I said he'd never be back on the field. Regular season
We're all
again.
men here.
But
we know what men mean.
But what was the bet? He hasn't showed me like I mean,
think
all our
you-
shows are on the
I
internet.
think you need to have sex with Randy now or something, right?
Just send me some audio.
Send
of
him
the
an
bet.
email, Randy, so he knows how much he owes
If
you.
he was
go back
if he
and
was
show
in
me.
one,
I
like
can't
one
remember.
kickoff, what did he do? What did he do?
I mean,
Trot down the field, 6 and then walk off, take his helmet off, and that's it? I don't think that counts. I'm sorry, that doesn't count. That's not playing. That's not back to normal, back good as I was. That's not. It's not. If you want to take the money, take the money. If the bet's the bet, that's fine. But I think you're cheaping out. That's my opinion. Because we all know that when we made this bet, when we talked about Damar Hamlin playing back in the NFL, it was playing back the way that he was playing before the catastrophic injury, right? And if he's not going to do that, then you win the bet. That's my point. And he's not doing that. He's not.
But I think technically I said he just wouldn't be
That's
back
not
on the field.
To me, that's not a real bet.
yeah.
If you're just look, he came to practice one time to say hi to everybody. He was on the field. It feels very much like that.
Yeah,
It feels cheap.
I've been wrong a lot lately, so I have to admit when I'm wrong.
DeBerry Joe says I'm backpedaling. I'm not backpedaling. I think anybody that says, okay, he went out there for one play and ran 7 steps, I think you're a bitch if you say that. That's what I think.
Well, no, I mean
that was the bet Tom made.
No,
I don't think,
technically-
it's to play. He's going to play back in the NFL. That's the bet.
Yeah, well, he's on special teams.
No,
he's playing
no.
on the field during a play.
No, he's not. He's not.
He may have actually played safety. Maybe I just
No.
I don't think he did.
Everybody
yet.
knows what I mean. They just don't want to admit it because it's become fun. Just, hey, Tom lost again. You guys are idiots. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. And if you take this bet, it's very, very cheap.
Well, I understand the
If
enjoyment.
it was the opposite, Tom would take the money.
No, yeah.
I didn't
what I'm
say it
saying.
wouldn't. That's not the argument. That's not my argument.
Yeah, and as soon as he made the active roster, I would have claimed I won.
Right.
Which Randy should have. Although the weird thing about him not dressing and being on the sidelines, I was like, well, that's weird. Something else is weird's happening. But then he was running out there in special teams. I think they're just integrating him slow.
See, DeBerry Joe says his feet were on the field during active play. Okay, hey, if that's the way you want to live your life, then you're not a man if you say that. I don't think so. Not a man.
Back to Dead Horse State Park. So first, I like the fact that Crystal would be mad about some thing that happened in the 1700s.
Maybe
she's
if there
well
was
aware that a lot of
what if there was a pile of
murder
bones?
and animal abuse were
Pile of bones?
It's weird that back. I'm guessing this happened hundreds of years ago. That they'd waste horses like that. You would think that they'd use the horses for meat or other things, or just to sell to the locals. So some for food or something. It's a giant animal.
Were they wild horses that they
seemed
would then try to figure out which ones were the most usable and then tame them? I don't know much about horses. So
well, what he's
I don't
saying
know.
is he basically they'd leave the ones that couldn't be used anymore for dead. I guess maybe if you're out in the middle of nowhere, it's better just to leave them than to expend the energy to take them somewhere else. But it seems like it's a giant animal that has to be worth something. It's kind of like a car. Your car's never worth $0. It's worth $300 at least in scrap metal.
Is it a moral sort of like you take them out there, right? And is it easier to part with them being out by the river than it is to just stand there and shoot them all? You see what I'm saying?
Well, I guess it's a waste of bullets, but
it's
also
like releasing a dog in the woods. You know, you got to take him out in the woods and release him.
I know that you're a hardened real man, a Western real man out there, and you probably don't care, but you would think a lot of these guys, they care about their horses, or they at least respect the fact that they work for them, right?
Well, the only category I can put in is hunting dog, because my grandpa had those, and he really cared for his hunting dogs.
But you would think that they'd at least stab him in the jugular or something.
Well, they were herding wild mustangs.
Okay.
So
Hey, that's what I said.
It says that the name Primary got its use of the point in the early 1800s as a corral of the herds of wild mustangs that Western explorers came upon during the explorations out west. These cowboys devised clever methods to trap these fast-footed animals by herding them into the narrow neck of the point and constructing simple juniper fences to corral the animals. In these corrals, they were able to sort the profitable, healthy steeds from the weaker, less desirable ones. The lesser ones are left behind, with some bands of horses ultimately dying from the dehydration in the hot Utah sun, with water within sight but not within reach, approximately 2,000 feet below in the Colorado River. So they were herding, like, wild mustangs, and they can't take them all, so they're like, well, we're only going to take the healthy ones.
And then do they naturally stay there because they see and this is a true question.
Yeah.
Do they naturally
why not
stay
let
there?
them go? Like, you close the gates
Yeah.
and you let them all die? Like, that's kind of a D-head move.
Yeah, why not let them go down to the river and drink, and then
Yeah.
they can run around and just be
Don't
horses?
know.
It is probably something like, once you've herded them and put up the gates, maybe that they won't pass those again or something. You know, like,
it would be horrible if
I
they
don't
said,
know.
We don't care, and we just let them stand in the sun.
yeah, but also, like, things hundreds of years ago were so hard that no one cared about anybody but themselves for
Right.
the most part, is because, like, they're always on the brink of dying every second, and so it's just like, who cares? There's millions of horses, like, I don't care who gives, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Until there aren't.
yeah, like,
Right.
I'm not even gonna go open the gate because that's expending 10 calories that I don't care about.
Right,
you know, like,
right,
I don't know.
Right. Or maybe it was hard to open the gate because you had tuberculosis. I don't know what these people were dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Let's try this one. I think a couple of weeks ago, pardon me, we were talking about faking your own death.
What's up, mediocre crew? This is Eric. I was listening to the Friday Free Show with Big Tim and Ross in the room, and you guys were talking about different ways that Tom could fake his death. You're talking about going up in the mountains or out in the woods or diving or out on the boat. And what you failed to think about is all of those scenarios, Tom is likely to kill himself accidentally anyway. So there's that.
Well, I think that's the joke we made. I'll kill myself faking my own death.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll die faking my own death.
I stay up and think about that late at night, but I never get past. I'm stuck in this rut. Not of faking my own death, but
No.
like when I do think about it, it's usually I get in the car and then I just drive someplace and I park and then I live in a hotel and I'm away from my family and I'm like, I'm starting a new, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm really trying to hide from everybody.
You just want to start new.
Yeah, I just want to start new.
Yeah. It would be nice if you think about it. Like, just I need some money to start. I can't start from nothing.
Yeah.
You're like,
can I keep my money? I mean, that is the good thing with me and Andrea having separate bank accounts. I mean, it's gonna be hard to split up rather the everything we own together. But with the separate bank accounts,
yeah.
little easy.
Yeah.
She can't get in mine, I can't get in hers.
Yeah, you take like 10,000, and then you just go to some other state, and then you'll follow your
make up
family on
something.
Facebook. You'll see what they're doing.
I don't think I would.
I
don't think I would follow
It make
them.
you sad. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
people
I'd follow like
abandoned.
some of you guys, and then I'd see like you guys trying to hold the show together somehow. I wonder how they're doing.
I'm really good at not thinking about something.
That's good. That's good. Write that down. Put that in the group. That's good.
So if like I could, I could never leave my friends and family, this company, screw everybody, but if I had to, or I did do that, I could probably actively just like, oh, don't think about what you've done.
I've thought of that too.
And then I think I could go my whole life without
Yes.
without feeling the burden of what I've done, and just be like, oh, just get out of your head.
Oh my
All
God,
right.
dude,
These
we're
are a
on
lot of murderers.
we're on the same page. I've thought about that. I was like, could you turn your back on Tom and Sam? And I'm like, I could. It would be very difficult, but I would just have to not think about it and just pretend like you guys don't exist anymore.
Then I'd slowly justify it by being like, they were against me anyway.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
And then
All
be
right.
like, remember that time?
I would just say
I
I'm
just started
crazy.
making-
Sorry, I'm crazy. It was either this.
Oh, yeah, that's
it
the
was
Pete
either this or
Davidson
pull the
crazy
fire
all the time.
extinguisher. Either this or pull the fire extinguishers on an Alaska Airlines. I was either going to do one of the two. I was either going to destroy the show or pull the fire extinguishers on the engines on an Alaska Airlines flight.
I hope one day we're recording and all of a sudden you start just mashing buttons. And all I'll go and grab you and
zip tie me. Sam zip ties me. You know.
And they were like, "We've subdued Daniel." we continue the show.
Twitch is still watching us.
And then we'll put a camera on you.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? We need to do something like that on our live streams because there was nothing more fun to watch than that time that Andy Dick was live streaming and some guy got a gun.
What was this?
You don't remember this? It was like during the middle of the pandemic. I think Andy Dick was on some drug bender and he was live streaming and there was like a guy with a gun and they had like an altercation and a fight. And it was all on live stream.
Was he in public or was it just in his house?
I think he was in his house or an apartment that he lived with a roommate.
Okay.
That's how you know people really are successful when they have roommates. Especially if they're like, you know, in their 50s and 60s. And they're like,
you've been on TV shows.
My 4 roommates. I was on news talk radio. What is that, news radio? That show was a 90s hit.
And then you've got some other middle-aged 47-year-old roommate.
You're 58 years old and you have 5 roommates in L.A. Oh, my God. All right, hold on. Let me find another one. This one... All of these pertain to things that basically you have said don't exist anymore, but they do.
Are there any really successful people with roommates? Like any of our listeners, do you think any of them that do have roommates are one of them successful?
No.
Oh, like none of them?
No.
Like, what if a doctor just wanted some company?
Doctor roommate.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're a doctor.
What do you consider successful?
Like you make
not having roommates.
Like you make
is successful. Right?
You make enough to not have roommates.
Well,
but you choose to.
I choose to have roommates because I love people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
all right. Hold on.
Like you don't need to have a roommate. You choose to because why not? You like
for companionship.
Yeah. Just like you have another.
I'm sure there's at least one.
You have another dude or chick that lives with you, and they're just like, why not?
What's happened to you? You've been using dude like a madman today.
In cities that happens, like Broad City, like the 2 friends. Although they weren't successful, right?
They were deadbeats.
Yeah.
So they were like, normally any of the sitcoms I watch, whether it's roommates, it's like, remember New Girl with Zooey Deschanel?
Yeah, never watched
They all had roommates. There was like 4 roommates, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think any of them were
Well, I don't know, man. The
successful.
way Florida prices are now, there probably are some roommates out there.
I think if Crystal ever leaves me and
you're gonna need a roommate.
Yeah, I would need a roommate.
Okay, you ready?
You and Tully.
You ready for my hot take?
Tully?
You ready for my hot take? As a chirper, I very much enjoyed roommates. I'm a roommate guy. I'm like, hey guys, I got Girls Gone Wild. Who wants to come into the main room and watch Girls Gone Wild? Everybody's in. I'm cooking for everybody.
Had one roommate and it was a
sandwiches.
nightmare.
I hope there's in like some another part of the world, there's like your old roommates. I mean, I used to live with this guy. Damn,
crazy.
Never shut the hell up.
They listen.
I couldn't get any peace.
They listen. My buddy Paul, who he's still in Jacksonville. My buddy Chris, he's in Chicago.
All I wanted to do was eat my sub and pizza, and Daniel wouldn't stop talking to me.
I did get into a couple of fights with my roommates, namely with Chris in Chicago, because he would leave used condoms under the bed in the master bedroom, and it would make the entire master bedroom smell like fish. So I took his Sultan sandwich maker. Remember those little Sultan sandwich makers where you take 2 pieces of white bread and then you could put like spaghetti sauce and mozzarella in there and then put another piece of bread on top of it. It would make a pizza pocket. It would like glue the bread together and make a little pocket.
Or like make an Uncrustable?
Yeah, make like an Uncrustable. And that was Chris's little Sultan sandwich maker. And because he left the used condoms under the bed, I took the sandwich maker and I threw it into the St. Augustine Ocean.
That's a harsh penalty.
Well, I'm a harsh man.
Was it a community room?
Yeah, well, we were going to switch out. And I was going into the master bedroom and I was like, dude, you didn't even clean up in here. I went to sleep in the master bedroom and I'm talking an egregious amount. We're talking like 40, 42, you know.
That's a lot of
scumbags under there. That's a lot of scumbags.
Like after a while.
Yeah.
Although, I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, I will talk about it. So I bite my nails.
Dude, when people
Where's this going?
I think when people listen to the show, they're like, we like to listen to the horrible guys.
And so I'll bite my nails, and then
I bite mine too.
And sometimes I'll like pick my toenails. This is real
I'm gonna
disgusting.
throw
I pick my toenails until they bleed.
You don't even wash your feet.
But then
you pick your toenails.
You used to pick the dirt off of
Hey,
them.
but it's not the dirt. It's like actually the nail part.
Yeah,
It'll
do you
like come
peel it off?
Yeah,
until it bleeds?
Oh my
And-
god.
yeah,
I peel it till mine bleeds.
And then I'll be like, oh, I gotta get rid of this. And then
I throw it on the ground.
no, behind my couch.
Yeah, behind the couch.
Ew, there's
Yeah.
a graveyard of toenails
Yeah.
behind your
Yes.
couch.
And then
Let's go there for a go-to show.
And then one time, this may have been going on for like quite a while.
Okay.
And
Is this confession for you?
and then Crystal dropped something between because
The soap.
There's a shelf back there, but there's an area between both shelves that I call my toenail drop.
You're a child.
It's
This
the
is,
drop.
this is
It's
what
the toenail
children
drop.
do.
And then
By the way, I don't want him to die on this hill. I pull my toenails and throw them all around the dentist's living room. I mean,
just
I
haphazardly-
throw them like boomerangs everywhere. I throw them everywhere.
and
Because Dansby will eat them because he loves me.
and then so Crystal went back there with her cell phone light and
Oh,
to get
what'd she do? Then
Oh,
what'd
to
she
get
man.
the
charge
like a charger fell or whatever.
Oh, no,
and then
no.
she's like, "Oh my god!" And then
There's
I'm like, "What?"
maggots.
And she's like, "What? Are your toenails back here?" And then I'm like, "No, I just threw a couple." And then
A
she's like,
couple.
No,
and
never admitted. That's like
You're
having
a
one beer and you
child.
tell the cop you were drinking.
And then she's like, "Get over here and look at this." And then
Did you take a photo?
A mountain of toenails.
and
embarrassing,
It's
right?
so much
How many do you think?
that
40.
I don't know.
Years,
It's-
years
How many
of
scumbags?
toenails.
It's
How
so
many
many.
scumbags?
It's so many, and it was embarrassing. And I was like, "Oh my
Did
god!"
you vacuum it up?
No, I said.
it.
I said I was. I think I told her I did. I told her I did.
And then you just keep doing it.
yeah,
I like
can't
Oh
stop.
my
I like
God,
that.
dude.
I
Can't stop, won't stop.
Eventually, I'll vacuum them up, but and they're not hurting anybody. It's just
No.
disgusting.
It's the,
And
it
I'll
used to
admit-
be worse when I had carpet because they would stay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But now that I have tile from At Home Floor Store, I can kick the toenails under the couch so you can't see them because they slide on the tile. In the carpet, you can't kick them.
a memory Crystal who used to, remembered from her childhood is she'd lay on a carpet, and then her back would get stabbed
From her dad's.
her dad's
I
toenails.
did this. I'm her dad. I do this.
And they were like big, thick,
Yeah.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, big yellows.
And then
Yeah.
he'd throw them in the carpet.
They look like, but they're so big and yellow, they look like banana runts. That's disgusting. I shouldn't
What
have
is
said that.
wrong
Looks
with
like a
you
banana
people?
runt. Looks like you're peeling banana runts off your toes.
stab her back
Yeah.
when you roll around as a kid.
Yeah. That's
Trauma.
love. That's love when your dad's nails stab your back.
All right.
Hmm.
Isn't that how Chunk's got a staph infection
Is
in the
it?
studio?
Yeah, well, that's mainly of the disgusting radio
I think there were
carpet.
toenails on the carpet,
Yeah,
he said.
yeah,
I think
there
he
were.
literally
There were.
said that.
Yeah,
Yeah, when I get really nervous, when the anxiety kicks, look at my.
I mean, there's boogers and nails everywhere around here, right?
Well,
Oh, not boogers. No.
Her
no.
Majesty
From him?
cleans
Oh,
his
He
you know
cough
what?
boogers everywhere.
You know what? I stand corrected. I apologize. I forgot about that. You have a booger problem.
He has a booger problem. He's-
You
We
coughed
have
a booger out.
cleaning company that cleans.
They don't clean the
place very
boogers
well.
though. I've been
no,
looking.
they
and they're-
vacuum.
No, they don't. Dude,
Look, there's nothing. This
they
carpet's
need to
so
wash.
clean.
They need to wash the carpet. It's
yeah,
got.
it's got to get
No.
deep
It's
cleaned
got
at this
some,
point.
and then
Look how
Remy,
clean.
I'm
I'll
gonna
eat
call
off
him out.
this.
Then Remy dropped all the pizza we got from Pizza Bruno. I saw you right there. There's stains right over there.
Pizza.
Yeah, Remy was dropping Pizza Bruno on the ground.
Was he eating over here?
Where wasn't he eating?
Yeah, that's he had pizza sauce on his shoes.
Yeah, he did.
Like he's
He did. That's how I
walking
knew.
around with
That's how I
on a
knew.
pizza.
Yeah.
All
He's
right.
got pizza shoes.
We will see you tomorrow.
That's a good show. Bananas, crazy. All right, where's that go?
Tuesday 3 and 4. I'll need an intro.
Yes, ma'am. Is that it? Or are we gonna do one more?
That's it.
All right.
We're good. No need to do any more.
All right, guys. Hey, have a wonderful day. That was really fun hanging out with you guys today. I think you'll like what we did at the History Center, and thanks for